This man took part in his own documentary and accidentally revealed himself to be the killer. Robert Durst was born on the 12th of April in 1943 to his parents Seymour and Bernice when he was just 7. His mother died after jumping from the roof of their family home. Later went to UCLA where he met Susan Berman in 1965. These two became very, very close and she comes up later. In 1971, Robert met 19-year-old Kathleen. They got married in 1973. After traveling, they returned to New York and they lived a very wealthy life. But behind the scenes, things were very, very different and their marriage was extremely volatile. She was just months away from graduating when she disappeared. She had recently asked Robert for a $250,000 divorce settlement, and in response, he cut her off financially. He cancelled all of her credit cards, he removed her from the joint accounts. On the 31st of January 1982, Robert claimed that he drove Kathleen to a train station. He said that she boarded a train to Manhattan and that they spoke later on that night, but he didn't report her missing until 5 days later. When questioned, he suggested that she'd simply gone off somewhere else, possibly due to substance use. Her body was never found. The case ended up going cold, and in 1990, Robert divorced Kathleen, citing abandonment. Then, on the 24th of December in 2000, Susan Berman, from earlier on in the case, who acted as like his unofficial spokesperson, was found shot execution style in her house in Los Angeles. A year later, Robert was linked to another case. This was in 2001, the dismembered body of 71-year-old Morris Black. His neighbour, who had been living disguised as a mute woman, was Robert Durst. He was arrested but later went on the run after posting bail. He was eventually caught after he was stealing a sandwich. In 2003, he was acquitted of Morris Black's murder after claiming self-defense. Years and years later, Robert agreed to take part in a documentary. It was called The Jinx: The Life and Deaths of Robert Durst. During filming, in what he thought was just a private moment where he was just sat by himself, he was recorded saying, "What the hell did I do? Killed them all, of course." The footage wasn't discovered until years later, and in March 2015, the night before the final episode aired, Robert was arrested for Susan Berman's murder. He was found in a New Orleans hotel under a false name and he had a weapon with him. He ended up pleading guilty to weapons charges and he was sentenced to prison. In October 2021, Robert was found guilty of murdering Susan Berman and sentenced to life in prison. Days after this, he was finally charged with Kathleen's murder as well, but he never stood trial. Robert Durst died on the 10th of January 2022 at the age of 78 while he was in custody.